Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to have a conversation on the 5 mistakes. There are many other mistakes, but today we're going to talk about 5 mistakes that single women make when they are choosing a husband during that time. Before we dive into that, if you haven't subscribed, would you please subscribe? So the number one mistake that single women make is ignoring the red flags. So maybe you're wondering, what are red flags? Red flags are, like things that give you a signal, things that someone does that give you a signal that something is wrong. For example, you have a conflict and he slaps you, or he borrows money from you and he does not return the money, or he gaslights you, he is never wrong, he's flirting with other women, he's demanding for sex and he's not honoring your boundaries, he's always pushing your boundaries and minimizing your views. There are so many red flags, or he's just lazy. So usually single women ignore the red flags. They think that because I love this person, these particular things will go away. But the truth is they never go away. And when you're married, those red flags are there in your face. So we minimize them because we are naturally nurturers, and sometimes you're thinking, maybe I don't want to be too much. I want to be patient. So you excuse bad manners, you excuse someone meanness, you excuse someone just being, maybe they're emotionally absent or physically abusive. They do things that deep inside you, you know that they're not right, but you kind of, you excuse them because you're like, well, no one is perfect. The truth is no one is perfect, and you're not going to find a perfect man. But there are things that people do, that men do, that should be, they are waving a red flag to you. They are literally telling you, run for your life. But you think, no, it's okay. Maybe he suffered a lot. He went through a lot, and that's why he's like this. He's emotionally absent, and probably he's not pursuing you, and it's you who is pursuing them and, calling and going to check on them, but they are not putting in any effort. That's a red flag that actually this person is not interested in you, or they are going to be like that. So that is one of the mistakes that single ladies make during that time. The second mistake that single ladies make is thinking that the wedding is the goal, or marriage is the goal in my life or that particular person's life. You see, the wedding is beautiful, is a beautiful thing to do, but a wedding is not the goal. A wedding is beautiful, but it's a start. It's just a party celebrating the union, and both families coming together and friends coming together and celebrating with you. So when you make the wedding the goal, even when you see so many things that are telling you, man, this person is not the right person, you will ignore them. And then also sometimes you make the marriage your whole goal in life. If I get married, for me, when I get married, there's nothing wrong with being excited about marriage. But if you think it's the goal in life, it's actually not the goal. It's one of the things that happen to us in marriage. It is a good thing, and it's a good thing to look forward to. But marriage cannot be your goal, because once you're married, then what? So marriage is not the goal. Your life is big. So marriage is like one of those things that happen to you. So when you think that getting married is the goal, that means when you actually don't get married, of course you're going to get depressed. You are going to think you're worthless, because for you, marriage is the goal. But also after marriage, you realize that, hey, it's beautiful, it's good, but there's a lot of hard work, like real life is happening. Sickness, children, even when they are blessing, there's a lot of hard work, like real life is happening. So getting married, if you think getting married is the goal and it's going to sort you and it's going to bring all the happiness, it's actually not the goal. Getting married is the beginning. Marriage is not the only goal in your life. There are so many other goals. So when you make marriage the only focus or the center or the focus of your life, while it's beautiful, it can lead actually to disappointment, even, depression. The third mistake is putting your life on hold. Putting, starting things or dreaming on hold, because usually we think that when I get married, for example, if it's buying land, you're thinking when I get married, my future husband will have the land. He will buy the land. Sometimes the single men are also having a time of their lives. They are also partying. They are buying the clothes, the trendy clothes. Sometimes they're not even thinking about those things. But for you, you put your life on hold. You can't maybe buy the land that you want. You can't. You're thinking if I build the house, maybe it might not be the future house that I want. So you think that your future husband will have those things, or your future husband will do those things. For some people it has happened, maybe like that. But how about if you find them when actually they also don't have any of those things? So during that time when you had maybe the money as a single woman, you could have bought the land. You could have invested in something. You could have maybe gone back to school. You could have, done something that is that you're dreaming about, but you put it on hold. It's a big mistake because it can breed a lot of disappointment and resentment when you enter into marriage. While marriage is a good thing, women and young ladies have goals that we should pursue even when we are single. That way, by the time you get married, you've actually pursued the things that you wanted to pursue. Because single life, that time when you're single is not time to be wasted. It's precious time that actually you never get back. So if you do those things, it adds onto your life. Well, if you don't like the house in the future, you could sell it. You could put people to rent it. It will still add value onto you. If you have the money as a single person, you can build your dream house and it's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. You can pursue your dreams and your husband can find you along the way, and still it will be beautiful and it will be meaningful. Mistake number 4 is assuming that men are few, so you therefore allow to interfere into another woman's marriage. You either allow to be the side chick or the second wife or the third or the fourth. Or, worst case scenario, the husband leaves the wife and comes and marries you. And of course you're excited because a man has chosen you. That's a very, very big mistake. The Bible also tells us that we reap what we sow. So if you sow such a seed in another family or in another woman's life, it means that at some point you could reap it, or your children might reap it, because when you become the second wife or the side chick, or decide to fall in love with a married man, there's another woman out there who's crying. It's painful. So they are crying, they are probably broken. That marriage might not survive. The children are also going to be affected. So there's someone out there crying out to God, and they are bitter or frustrated or angry just because you allowed to be yoked together with a married man. That's a very big mistake, because I believe that you as a single woman will find your person. I believe that there's a man for every woman. At some point you will find your husband. But even if you don't find them, remember I said marriage is not the only goal in life. Whether you're single, your life is meaningful. If you're married, your life is meaningful. So when you choose to do that, it's such a big mistake, and it has contributed to the brokenness in our society. You know, women hurting women, women interfering in other people's, another woman's marriage. Why not wait for the right person? And if the right person has not come along, stay single. Because I think because we do that, men who don't have the principles and the character will think it's okay. So they keep lying to us as women. We keep doing that, and it's a cycle. It becomes a cycle. And when he chooses at some point that, well, I'm tired of this, of you, he goes away and he gets another person. And then now it's your turn. You're the one crying. But I know that we also reap what we sow. So it's dangerous for you as a single woman to have such a mindset, you know, because there are many unserious married women, married men who are looking for younger women to prey on, who are looking for women with those kinds of mindset, you know. Kastanzimbira ze sifayo kubera namba 2 oba namba 3 ze kastalabirira abaana, you know. Marriage from the beginning was meant to be between one woman and one man. That's the perfect picture that God gave us in Genesis. And I know I've heard the saying that men have given this excuse of women, you know, look in the Bible, look at David, look at Abraham, look, they had more than one woman. But actually, when you look at the Bible and you look at the lives of those people, they did mighty exploits, but they had pains also. You know, the mistakes that they made cost them. Not only them in their families at that point, but also it cost them generationally. It cost them for generations. And for some of them, it's still costing. Those repercussions are still going on even up to today. So it's actually not, it's not fun. It's not a good thing. Wait for your husband. If they don't come, do not say, well, they've not come, but there's a married man who's on my case, so let me just allow. No. You're just continuing the cycle of brokenness. Because that married man, if he's able to tell you, if he's able to ask you to be his second wife or whichever number, as long as you're not the first one, that means he's able to do that even after he has gotten you. He will get also another one. Because some people think the only requirement is, can you take care of the children? Those children need a lot of attention. They want you. They want daddy and mommy to be together. They want the attention from both the parents. So when there's the lack of that, when that is not there, it's painful for the children. And we continue that cycle, and then we produce a society, or we convince ourselves in society that it's okay. It's okay. And then it even becomes normal. That, you know, when we see it, it's no longer a taboo. It's like, well, it happens. So I know it happens, but it's actually a very, very big mistake. I think as human beings, we are meant to contribute. As women, we are meant to contribute to our societies in a positive way. Mistake number 5 is assuming the wife's role even before they marry you. It's assuming you're the wife because you're the girlfriend or the fiancé, or a man has showed interest in you. So you assume the wife role, you go to his home, you start cooking, you start cleaning, you have sex with him. Basically, it's like you're married, and of course, sometimes even have children with them, like you choose to cohabit. That's a very big mistake. That, as you know, as women, we are also very, very emotional. When you think as a single woman that by doing that, that man will marry you, there are some scenarios where the men have been faithful and it has ended in marriage. But generally speaking, in most cases, that man will waste your time, will leave you after they've wasted all your years and go and marry a younger woman or another woman. So that means also you are left hurting, because no one gives themselves to a man and not want to be married. You want that commitment. So it's a very big mistake when you assume the wife's role before a man makes it official, before they put a ring on your finger. You have no business as a single woman washing for, whether it's a married man or single man, you have no business washing for that man, going to his place to wash his clothes, clean the house, make his bed, prepare food for him, whatever it is. You have no business doing that as a single woman. You can only do that when that man makes it official and you know, well, I am the wife, so I'm going to do my role as a wife. So when you assume that role of the wife before it's official, you made it easy for him. He has eaten the cake before he has paid the money. So there's no motivation, There's no commitment whatsoever. Even when that man wakes up one day or tomorrow and says, you know what, I'm going to marry another woman. I mean, even when you're crying, like, people are like, well, was it official? Like, people are trying to figure out, did he commit? Sometimes we think just staying with a man and doing those nice things for them is the commitment, or is showing them that I'm so committed. When a man wants you, they will do all those things. They will do the right things. They will put the ring on the finger. They'll go to the parents. They'll pursue you. They'll make sure they made it official. But when you make it so easy for them, when you're so available, you've not given them any motivation to actually follow through. I think as women, we think that's going to motivate them. But actually, if you look at the statistics, it rarely motivates them. It actually doesn't motivate them, And it's in our nature as human beings to take the things that we get so easily for granted. So when you do that, you set yourself up to cry, and it's going to be very, very painful. Well, hopefully you have learned from the 5 mistakes that I have shared. And if you're single, hopefully they can help you avoid to fall into the traps. But also, if you know a single person, you could just forward this video to them so they can learn, listen, and I would like to know, what are your thoughts? Have you fallen in any of these traps? Have you made any of those mistakes? And what have you done? If you have enjoyed this video, please share it with another person. Comment, like, and subscribe. See you in the next conversation. Bye.